My name is Nick Cimbroni, and this is a Fox News special. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Soviet Union and the collapse of the Soviet Union. Throughout our time and in the past, communism has tried to be spread throughout the world. And this was a growing concern to the United States of America because they knew that democracy was the one true way for people's individual freedom and personal responsibility. So the U.S. decided to intervene, and with that, that has caused, partially and helped, the collapse of the Soviet Empire. Leonid Brezhnev was a brutal leader. The Communist Party restricted freedom of speech and worship, and they censored many things within the Soviet Union. The aging leadership of the Soviet Union tried to hold its power. But Gorbachev, Mikhail Gorbachev, became the party's new general secretary. He was the youngest Soviet leader since Stalin. And what Gorbachev did was he knew that economic reforms could not happen without people's ideas and innovation. So he announced a policy called Glasnost, which meant openness. Also, in 1985, another thing that he believed was perestroika, or economic reconstructing. People were now allowed to open small businesses, and then, following that, a third new party called democratization was created, and this then called for the election of a new legislative body for people to vote. I'm going to now turn it over to Kenan Umar, who is going to interview Jigar Sandhu and the process of his new business.
Jigar Sandhu, he's taken full advantage of the new policies of Gorbachev. He's opened up his own business and he's innovating with new products. What have you been doing lately, Jigar?
I'm making these things called hat bands. It's for people with turbans like me, so we don't get hot in the weather lately. And it's been a real success. I'm selling a lot of hat bands.
That's fantastic. Jigar, where do you see yourself taking your business? Would you have any goals set?
I'm gonna make millions.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This guy right here. Alright, he's an entrepreneur, and back to you.
He's going to make it nowhere. Thank you, Kenan, and we will be right back with the history of the Soviet Union. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
I'm Don Paul. If you want America to return to the prosperity brought by the great President Ronald Reagan, as seen in this clip, vote for me. Take America back to the days of Reagan.
Today I'm starting my interview today by speaking to Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone, how do you feel about the Soviet Union collapsing and now there's a new chance for democracy in the world?
I think that democracy will promote freedom and prosperity for the Russian people, and it will be a very good change.
And give people new opportunities.
Yes, it will.
All right, well, there you have it. Hi, I'm Nick Cimbroni, and thank you for... It's our fellow CNN correspondent. The assault in Lithuania damaged Gorbachev's popularity. People looked for leadership to Boris Yeltsin, a member of parliament and former mayor of Moscow. Conservatives who opposed reform were furious that Gorbachev had given up the Soviet Union's role as a dominant force in Eastern Europe. These officials vowed to overthrow Gorbachev and undo his reforms. On August 18, 1991, the hardliners detained Gorbachev at his vacation home on the Black Sea. They demanded his resignation as Soviet president, and early the next day, hundreds of tanks and armored vehicles rolled into Moscow. Yeltsin declared, quote, "We proclaim all decisions and decrees of this committee to be illegal. We appeal to the citizens of Russia, demand a return of the country to normal constitutional developments," unquote. In August, the hardliners ordered troops to attack the parliament building, but they refused. On August 21st, the military withdrew its forces from Moscow, and that night, Gorbachev then returned to Moscow.
Come with me!
Stop! Don Paul, if you vote for me, you'll get this kind of safety in your communities. We don't want scum like him roaming around taking our children, alright? Vote Don Paul, 2014.
Thank you again for joining us. So, the August coup caused anger against Communist Party and it slowly fell apart. Gorbachev resigned as General Secretary of the party. The Soviet Parliament voted to stop all party activities. It was ironic because in 1917, the Communist Party seized power and they collapsed because of a coup that failed. The coup played a substantial role in accelerating the breakup of the Soviet Union. By December, all 15 republics had declared independence. Boris Yeltsin, met with leaders of other republics to form the Commonwealth of Independent States, also known as the CIS, a loose federation of former Soviet territories. Only the Baltic republics and Georgia declined to join. So the formation of the CIS made the death of the Soviet Union. So out of all of this, the fact that the Soviet Union left, and now that there was a chance for democracy in the world, we see freedom, we see personal liberty and responsibility, as it should be. Thank you very much for joining us all on this podcast, and thank you to our CNN correspondent, Ken Umar, our greatest reporter, and Jigger, I hope that business goes far.
Buy my hats.